What's good? What's good in the hood? What's going on? How everybody doing? Hope everybody is well. Hope everybody is well. I had to start over. I had a couple topics I wanted to talk about. One of the topics I didn't want to really get into right now, because that's gonna take a guest. I had to bring a guest on for that. You know, for that one. So I was asked, are the children the future? Are the children the future? And if so, why don't we act like it? If the children are the future, why don't we act like it? That's one of the questions, is if the children are the future, why don't we act like it? If the children are the future, why don't we act like it? Why don't we pretend, since we are in this world of make believe and people are pretending to be people that they're not? Why don't we pretend that the children are the future and treat them better and raise them better and give them great advice? And give them great advice. Right. It's a concept that you have to believe and adopt it. And adopt that concept. Take that concept and bring it to life. Because for the most part, it seems that the children are somewhat in control, if you ask me. Somewhere in there, the children are in control. That's what I see. If we can believe that we were supposed to lead the children or give the children great advice to make them great or better adults, why haven't we achieved that goal? From my generation, there has been 2 generations under me so far. There have been 2 generations under me. And if each generation, if they are dropping the ball, how do we expect to build our communities? We are so-called minorities, but if we are to build our communities in which we live in and which we frequent, what is the best way to do that? Is to educate the youth, try to bring the youth closer to us so they can learn from us, or we can give them some knowledge that's worth something. There we go. We can give them some knowledge that's worth something. A lot of times, the children are going through life not learning anything. It's going to school, come home. That's what the teacher's supposed to teach you. They supposed to teach you. I'm not. I'm making sure you got some clothes on your back. Is there any possibility that we can give our children something that they can use in the future? The future can be 5 years from now. The future can be 10 years from now. We don't know. But, however, is there a possibility that we can provide our children with something that will take them into the future, that will make them better individuals, and not be in this world where they think that they have to harm other young people? You know, the boys are very emotional. The girls want to be liked, so they act out. They act out in a way of, oh, I think I'm pretty. He think I'm pretty. Next thing you know, 10 dudes and thought she was pretty. They thought she was pretty. Next thing you know, it's all around town that she thinks she pretty. And sometimes people take advantage of that. Sometimes people take something and take advantage of it, and look at the result we have. Everybody want to be wild. Some of the young ladies, the women want to be their friend, want to be cool, want to be a cool mama. My mama cool. I'm talking about the worldly people. I'm not talking about the people who has figured it out. I'm talking about the worldly people. And no, I don't like that right there. Just move it. So let me see what Shonda told me. All right, Miss Bev, I'm gonna post your comment up on the screen. Yes, it has to be a matter of importance. When we want an athlete or a legacy name, that's what we raise. When we raise them to be a productive citizen. Well, when I say worldly people, I'm what I'm saying is some people um, are just out there and they want to be their kids' friends, and they want to be out there twerking with their children, and but some people are, no, this, I'm gonna let y'all have y'all era. Um, it's two different type of individuals that's roaming around in our society, maybe two or three. You know, some people are trying to get a grip on their children, and some people just give up on their children. I've seen some individuals, their children are 9, 10, 11. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. He live in your house, don't have no job, put on your clothes, the whole spiel. I can go down the line of things that the child has in your house. But yet we provide for them, and for the most part, the look that they have is what we bought them. So back in the day, well, not back in the day, but 8, 10 years ago, they used to wear their pants, sag it all the way down to their knees. And these were clothes that their parents bought them. So somewhere in there, my philosophy is, as parents, we have to take responsibility of part. We cannot take all the responsibility. I mean, but not responsibility, but all of the um, it has to be. I'll say that it's my fault, or it's yeah, we can say responsibility of how our children turn out. Some of it is good because those are the teachings that you give them, and sometimes they learn. Sometimes uh, they learn from some of the things that you tell them. They might have to get out there in the world to find out that, yeah, my daddy was right, or my mama was right. You know, before they leave the house, you got to teach them how to deal with um, you have to teach them how to deal with other people, how to coexist with other people. You know, you got to teach them not to trust so many people. Everybody's not your friend. Type of lessons. We have to teach them that. Sometimes we have to let them know that everybody's not your friend. Well, she's my friend, and we just be hanging out. She got you in trouble. Sometimes children are influenced by other children. Peer pressure is very it exists. It's very real. You know, some people are influenced by others. Some people uh, stray away from others who trying to get them to do mischievous things. We all done some stuff that we said, I shouldn't have did that. I'm pretty sure all of us has probably done that. Did some stuff that said, I shouldn't have did that. Man, what was I thinking? But in life, if you keep on doing those things cause some great problems. So we need to try not to send our children away from home once they leave home, and once they get off into the world, or getting ready to get off into the world. Can we give them the tools that they need to be productive citizens or productive individuals? Some people don't even indulge in what society has going on. Just going to work, go home, or they just surviving and go home. We just have to give them the tools or the knowledge to let them know what's going on in the world before they even enter to the world. We show them things before they leave home. Some things are good, some things are, maybe I shouldn't have taught him that. Maybe I shouldn't have told him if somebody talking loud, you smack him in the mouth, and he just smacking everybody in the mouth now. Maybe I shouldn't have told him that. Maybe I shouldn't have told him that you gotta be fly, and you just, as soon as you get some money, you go and get you something fly. Maybe I shouldn't have told him that. Miss Beverly said, as parents, we didn't change, or many of us didn't change, or realize we needed to change with current exposure. Right? Some of us thought that they needed to change with the times, which the basics and the basics and the base of raising a child is should have always been the same. Well, there should have been a good concept with that, because um, sometimes if we go off of what our parents did, then some of that stuff wasn't right. You know, the way you discipline them and stuff like that. Some of that stuff was harsh. Some of it was. Some of it was. We was hard headed. Sometimes we were hard headed. I know I was hard headed. I probably got a whooping every day. Some I did. It was a lot of minor stuff, but I got in trouble. I got in trouble though. We just have to stay focused on how we raise the children. We can't just be so lenient to the point where the children just running over the parents. Is that fair? That's not fair. Because at some point, I see some of the parents where it got out of control. I let little John John do this all the way until he was 18, and then I'm going to tell him to stop. Don't work like that. I let him go until he was 15, and now I'm going to tell him to stop. It don't work like that. Some of the parents think it's funny to watch them little kids cussing and saying all kind of crazy stuff. It don't work like that. How do we get the children back on track? How do we get the children back in a space where it's making sense? Because we want to try to make them productive citizens. We want them to be something. We want them to be, for the most part, better than us, or just as good as we are. I thought that's what we wanted. I thought we wanted them to be great and productive citizens. Some of these young cats, their mamas don't know where they at. They don't even come home from school. Yes, you want the baby, but you don't want to prepare them to be a toddler. You know, preteen or teenagers. Yeah, it's easy for us to parent them or get them under control when they very young. If they tell you from birth till about 5 years old, uh, that's when the child takes in the most of the knowledge. So we have to be teaching them stuff from the time they born. Because I done seen some little Asian kids at 3 years old can read a book just as good as a grown up. But that's only what you teach them. If you don't teach them that, then if we wait on the teachers to teach them, then guess what we got? They only learn what the system teaches them. If the system teaches them what they consider as the basics, then we have to teach them the basics of life when they at home. Okay, son, before you go to school, make up your bed. Not wait a week and then tell him to clean up his room. Before you go to school, make up your bed. When you come home, do your homework. do some studying, read something. But we should we the goal is to have them in the habit of doing these things before they get to become teenagers. Can we teach them most of the things that they need in life before they become teenagers? I think there's a possibility that that can happen. Before they become teenagers, we can teach them the basis of life. That's before they become teenagers. When they become teenagers, we need to be getting them prepared for adulthood. We need to make sure our young boys are groomed and not looking all crazy. We need to make sure that they dress appropriately. We need to make sure that the girls dress appropriately, so they won't be receiving the wrong energy. Yes, ma'am. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. Yeah, because I mean, I think once some of the children become teens, they get this attitude. This attitude is the attitude um comes with being a teenager. Sometimes you have to straighten it out every now and then. Hey, who you talking to? Calm down. Especially if they see they friends, parents go through some stuff and and nobody corrects them. Well, James' mama don't say nothing. Well, she, she's not James' mama. And for the children that the father's not in the home, that should be a relationship. Boy, your mama told me you over there tripping. No, Dad, this is what's going on. 'Cause I used to get them phone calls. All right, I'm on my way. What's wrong? Man, she was tripping, man. Okay, she told you to do something, right? Okay. Uh, won't you go and do it? And then let's talk about it. I'll talk to her. Let me talk to her. But go ahead, and in the meanwhile, go ahead and knock that out, bro. Go ahead and get that out the way. And I'll talk to her later. Because sometimes females, and it's nothing against females, sometimes uh, the way that you raise the boys is it's a little different. You somewhere in there he needs some male influence in order for him to know what the function of a man is. Whether you have him hang around your father or your uncles or some men who are level-headed individuals, if you get them around them, then that can straighten them up. But you got to keep them out of away from that peer pressure. Sometimes they have peer pressure of doing some stupid stuff, some stuff that just seem like, man, why you do that, man? What was the purpose of you doing that? What was the purpose of you endangering yourself? I I I tried to Talk to all the youth that I can. Because I know at one time there used to be guys in the neighborhood that'll tell you that you couldn't go. You can't go, man. We finna go. We finna go and do something crazy, or we finna go and get in trouble. You can't go. I had friends like that. I had friends that'll tell, "Nah, man, you can't go, man. You gonna get us out the hood. Either you gonna get us out the hood, or you gonna be somebody. Nah, you can't go, bro. Man, I'm just as old as you are. You can't go, bro." And sure as the sky's blue, I didn't want to go. Those are some trips I didn't want to go on. But some of your peers have to be level headed and understand that everybody's not built for this. Everybody's not going through the same childhood trauma that you going through. Man, gonna go home, man. They should tell me things like, "Man, we finna go and whoop on these cats." Man, gonna go home. Those type of individuals that I was blessed to have around me. Gonna go home, bro. They wouldn't drink around me. They wouldn't smoke weed around me. Gonna go home, man. At some point, I wanted to do something. I want to be wild too. Shit. Man, I ain't built for that. Although I probably did some stuff eh, I got away with that. I got that one off. Sometimes we in that position where we get some stupidity off. Sometimes we are in a position where we done done some stupid stuff. But somebody was looking after us. Somebody had their arms around us, made sure that we didn't get in trouble. Somebody did. Or some entity, some higher power. Because sometimes we could have been in a world of trouble, or we could have been in the cemetery. I'm speaking from the aspect of young men and young boys, and we done some stupid stuff, you know. When I mean stupid, man, why did I do that? Man, I ain't never doing that no more. That almost got me killed. I was thinking about stuff like, man, shoot, my mama gonna be tripping if the police come get me. My mama gonna be tripping if they find out I'm the one who threw them bricks at the bus and bust the windows out. My mama gonna be tripping. Because they always got to think about the parents. What will my daddy think if I'm out here, he give me everything that I want or I ask for, and I'm out here doing something stupid? I'm out here making a mockery of his name or shaming his name. Sometimes young people got to think about that. What my mama gonna think? Man, my mama working too hard, man. Sometimes the mama already going through something with your stepdaddy or your mama boyfriend. She already going through something, and then you bring up some news about you got in trouble or did something stupid. based on you want to be wild. Sometimes you got to get that under control. So you remember at one time we used to in our house anyway. At one time we used to all eat together. At first I didn't understand what that was about. I don't want to be in here. They ain't talking about nothing. But at one point in time, that sit down at the table was the therapy session. Excuse me. Was the therapy session. What I mean by the therapy session is that when you used to sit down at the table, there were conversations going on. You eating. Your daddy will ask you, or whoever the male is, of the family that's there with you. Those males who over the house, or who's the head of the house, or whoever the male is in the house, they sit. Then your mama would talk. Well, how was school today? And teacher was tripping. What happened? Blah 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 blah. Okay, I'll tell you how to handle that. So we giving advice and we giving therapy. Shonda, what's wrong? I don't know. You like this little boy. You better focus on your work. You got time for that. Don't be around here tripping because the little boy he acting silly. Sometimes as little boys we used to do stuff. I don't know where that came from, but we used to do stuff in under the idea of we like them. Stupid stuff. On the pretense that of we like them. So just think about the therapy session that you probably had at the table. That's what that eating a meal with the family was all about. You know, how you grade, son? Well, okay, y'all, we need to sit down and y'all need to study a little bit more, or we need to study. When I get off work, I'll help you with your homework. Or what's going on at school? Well, this dude was bullying me. Okay, so what did you do? Oh, I ain't do nothing. Okay, don't let nobody push you around. Your brother at the school, if y'all have to handle a little business up there, then you always look out for your brother. You make sure your brother good, boy. Man, but that's my friend, and John be starting stuff. You know, sometimes you gotta tell John, hey man, why don't you quit staying in some mess, man? Your brother fighting every other day because of you. But we can't. We have to have those therapy sessions, which most of our kids are grown now. But at some point in time, the concept of that's that's where those great conversations come in at. That's where those great conversations come in at. Then you can't be acting a fool around your children, and don't expect for your children to grow up be acting a fool. Y'all share this broadcast. Give me some thumbs up. Give me some likes. Give me some hearts. Do that for me. I appreciate it. On YouTube, if you go to YouTube at Danny Faree, I'm live over there at the same time. Give me some thumbs up. Give me some hearts. Give me some likes. Subscribe to the channel over on YouTube. I appreciate that. But we have to come to grips with and look back at some of the mistakes that we probably made with the children. Man, if I had a chance to do it all over again, I'd do this. Sometimes you got to. When my son went off to school, his mother had some of the stuff in one car. I had some of the stuff in my car. He rode in my car. That was our time to have these conversations. Man, I'm proud of you, man. As little boys, they have to know that somebody is proud of them. I'm proud of you. Boy, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. My daddy told me that before. Boy, I'm proud of you. You did good. He told me that. Well, he told me that more than one time. Maybe twice. Maybe 3 times. But when he was getting ready to pass, he told me that. I'm proud of you. You did good. You did good. Don't ever believe that I'm not proud of you. So sometimes as boys we gotta hear that. We have to hear that. On the female side, the advice that men can give them is to teach them some of the boys they need to stay away from. To teach them to don't be talking to him like that. Don't talk to a man like that. I heard you on the phone. You was cussing him out. No, I wasn't, Dad. I wasn't. I heard you. And the concept is, how do you expect to be a wife if you cussing the boys out? So you know when you cussing them out or you swinging on them, there's gonna be a reaction. Those are conversations that the male figure in their life should be having. Treat him well. Treat him like he's a human being. You know? You ever see me treat your mama like that? No. Well, where you get that from? Sometimes we gotta get a grip on that. Life is not that difficult. You gotta pull them kids in. Boy, I love you, boy. Kiss my son on the forehead every time I see him. Boy, I love you, man. How you doing? You doing good? Everything good? Yeah, man. Then you gotta give me some energy though. You doing good? Dad, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm everything Gucci. So we have to, as men, have to bring them boys in. Tell them you love them. Even if you're a stepdaddy, tell one of the children that you love them. Sometimes we get in our own way, and our concept becomes different than what we were raised on. The concept on how we were raised is a little different. We run it different. Man, I ain't doing all that stuff my daddy used to be doing, making me do that stuff. Oh, okay. You want your son to be late for school and get him in the habit of I get up when I get ready. You want him to do that? Man, my daddy used to make me get up 6 o'clock in the morning and do this, that, and the other. Oh, but you want your son to sleep in and do nothing. Think about that. Sometimes the children are a reflection of who we are, or who their or what their environment is. Think about that. Think about the children are molding their lives off of their environment. If you put them in a hostile environment, they might turn out to be hostile individuals. That's why at probably the last, I want to say, 10 years maybe, you've been hearing more and more about mental health. And some of it go back, and they tell me it's childhood trauma. Sometimes just think about sending your child out into the world and they got some trauma that has never been taken care of. Think about you as a mother, your son or your daughter seeing you go through something and y'all never sat down and talked about it. How you think that child feel as they get older? Man, I used to see my mama get slapped up inside the head. Mr. James was cool. He was a cool dude, but every now and then he'll get that all in him, and he'll swing on my mama. Oh, okay. So now you think that's what happens, or it happens. Children are the reflection to a certain degree of what their environment is. Yes, ma'am. I don't know if y'all can read what Miss Beverly put in the chat, but it's right. We gotta sow those seeds. We gotta make sure that our children leave the house with the necessary tools that they need to get started. You might have to help them along the way, but they'll get there. You just have to you have to stay on it, because like I say, once they get to a certain age, they start dealing with their childhood trauma. Oh, I don't think my mama loved me enough. Then they act out. Some of the people you trying to figure out why they can't hold a relationship, some of that stuff is childhood trauma. So we have to save the children in more than one way. If the children are the future, at least that's what we say. That's what we're saying, that the children are the future. Sometimes, I'm speaking from a male perspective. Sometimes the boys need a hug. They need a hug, and they need somebody to tell them that they love them and give them some of that encouragement. Man, you good at that, man. That's all right, man. What else you know how to do? You good at that. Man, that's nice. You know how you hype everybody else up? You can hype them up. Man, that's nice. You can draw? I didn't know you can draw. Man, draw me a picture of this. Then some of their hobbies and some of the things that they like to do, put them in that atmosphere. If they like to cook, put them in that atmosphere, some culinary atmosphere. You got to think some of the trades and some of the skills they can have by the time they turn 20, if you put them in that environment. They can be on their way to success if you put them in that environment. If you just around here he got to learn like I learned. I hear so much stupid stuff. He got to learn how I learned. I turned all right. No, you didn't, because you said that mess. I turned out cool. He just gonna have to get it how he get it. Yeah. And the streets gonna teach him how to get it how he get it. Cause I always thought that it was supposed to be learn from my mistakes. I'm trying to teach you something before you make that mistake. Or I'm trying to teach you that if you happen to run up on this or get in this type of situation, this is what you do. Some of it is called preventive maintenance. Some of it is called preventive maintenance. Preventive maintenance. We have to, when we see the issues happening, we have to get on top of it and not let it get out of control, and not let it get to the point where we saying, well, he on his own. He too old. I can't tell him what to do. Oh, okay. Because you didn't tell him what to do all the way up until he was 15. Till he was 14. I'm just saying. If the children are our future, why don't we act like it? Why don't we act like we supposed to make sure our children are good? We supposed to make sure that our children have the necessary tools to be a productive citizen, a productive individual. So they can go off, whether they stay in town or they move out of town. You can say, well, I'm going to visit my baby. My baby in North Carolina. I'm going to North Carolina. I'm going to stay down there for the weekend. Stay with my son for the weekend. Instead of saying, shoot, girl, my son down in the basement. He in there. All he do is sleep. Yeah, he go work at this little job. But he 40 now, 40 years old, 30 years old. He going to work that little job. We have to expose them to some greater things also. We have to put them in that atmosphere where they can say, I can do that too. You doing what? You mean tell me by the time you was 30, you was making $200,000 a year? Oh, that sometimes the money excites them. Sometimes you got to deprogram them also. You got to deprogram them and get them out of that mindset of, I ain't never gonna be nothing. That should never be the mindset. I'm never gonna be nothing. I ain't gonna be ish anyway. My daddy wasn't nothing. Yeah, but you should have put him in an atmosphere where there was some type of mentor, some male influence. You have to put him in an atmosphere where there's some male influence. Because society will eat him up. Society will chew him up, and hey, once that happens, it's a wrap. They got to go through the turbulence. Biblically, what it says, been in the valley of the shadow of death. You don't want them down in the valley. It's messed up down in the valley. So we have to get that concept in our heads of taking our children to the future and being somebody who you can say that you was proud of. or you are proud of. You know, if they like computers, if they like some IT stuff, put them in that IT stuff. You can put them in that stuff before they get out of high school. Like I said, by the time they turn 20, 22 at the most, they can have they can either have an IT trade, they can have those ones who are not going to a 4-year college or university. They can you can put them in a trade. They can learn HVAC, make $100,000 a year. It's a whole lot of skills. They can go into nursing. Get in the right field, you're making $100,000 a year. But we have to get that concept in their head. Find something that they like to do and get that concept in their head. Take him around and put him in that atmosphere. Put him in that atmosphere. What happens once you put somebody in a thriving atmosphere? If you can divert him from staying away from the knuckleheads, couple of them phone calls, man, I ain't coming out tonight, man. I'm studying for this thing, man. I went. My mama took me to this fair or this seminar, and I learned this. I learned how to trade stocks. Man, you ain't making no money, man. You ain't making no money. Yes, parental fatigue is a thing. Right. You say we have meetings in groups for everything else. Yes, you are absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. If y'all can see what Miss Beverly's saying in the chat, y'all can chime in. Those of you who want to chime in, it's real when I say sometimes I focus on the little boys because the young brothers can get lost in the sauce. Sometimes the young brothers can get lost in the sauce. And that's a real thing. You don't want them to get lost in the sauce. Because when they get in their 20s, you're just like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. But you can't give up. What you doing now? Oh, man, man, staying with this girl, man. She over there tripping. So what was some of the conversations we had about that? And you told me to always have my own. I'll be able to hold my own. Yes, I did say that. The harsh reality about that is sometimes you gotta say, you gotta ask them the question, what you thought was gonna happen. Ask that question sometimes. What you thought was gonna happen. I told you what the results of you doing some stuff that don't make sense. I already told you what the results were gonna be. I ain't trying to drive you or throw it up in your face, but when I ask you or when I tell you this is gonna be the result of this is gonna be the result of that, and then you experience that, I'm gonna ask you what you thought was gonna happen. Did you think it was just gonna go away? What did you think was gonna happen? So if you have taught them something, some of the trauma or the drama that they go through is self-inflicted. Sometimes they want attention. Sometimes they want people to give them some attention. And then it could go back to the childhood trauma. I didn't get enough attention, so I want some attention. That's just from my perspective. It doesn't have to be, that's not written in stone. When you're parenting, sometimes you tweaking and turning knobs and adjusting things, and because you want them to be able to function in society. That's just what I think. Y'all see this shirt? You see that? You see that shirt? Anyway, so sometimes we tweaking stuff and turning them knobs and trying to adjust or calibrate the mindset of our young children. Those of you who got young children, we're trying to tweak and turn them knobs and make sure we get the settings right. You know, every now and then, as they get older, you got to step in and readjust some stuff. What's going on, man? Well, you know, I'm thinking about changing careers. Oh, you can change careers. You don't change careers if you don't have nothing else to go to. When I used to do interviews of people who used to come into the job, I wasn't HR, but I was over a certain area. And I would look at them cats, especially the brothers that come in there, look at their application, and me sitting like, you didn't have 4 jobs this year, bro. In my head, I can't just come out and blurt out and tell them that you didn't have 4 jobs this year. What's going on? What's going on with this part of the resume? I mean, with this part of the application. And supervisor was tripping. Okay. What happened here? Supervisor was tripping, man. For some reason, I ain't getting along with the supervisors. Oh, okay, so we got supervisors here. So, what makes the difference? No, I just heard this company was cool, and then, but you got supervisors. Some of the young boys can't take instructions. Some of them little cats are very smart individuals, but can't take instructions. But I have a conversation with them all the time. Hey man, look, you doing good. You got the potential. You got the potential of being a leader. You got that potential, but somebody gotta inform him of that. He might feel like, oh man, I could be in charge of this, that, and the other. But you gotta put him in position and say, I want you to run this. Man, I don't want to. A lot of times, you know, for some reason they smack their lip. Man, sometimes you gotta put him in that position and say, I think you can do this, man. We need a manager. I want to recommend you. Sometimes they, how much you pay? Everything's about pay. So we have to encourage them and tell them, man, you got potential, man. You can do well in this industry. And for the young, some of the young boys, I had to tell them, hey, man, you can't find no job, get into trucking. You don't like that, go to the military for the minimum, the 3 years. Get up on your feet for the next 3 years. Change your life. if you got young boys or young children, youngins that got the potential of being athletes, even if you don't expect to go to the next level, get the free scholarship, pay for your education, because most of us that went to school, guess what happened? You come out of school in debt. Depends on how far up of the educational chain you go. You can run it all the way up to 200 grand coming out of school. The minimum might be 80. Depends on if you go how small of a school you go to. It depends on what size school you go to, on how much you getting charged. And then you come out of school in debt, 100 grand plus. And then sometimes they don't wanna do no grinding after they finish college. But the problem is that in order for you to thrive in society, you have to get you a skill. No matter what that skill is. No matter if you went to a trade school, 2-year college, 4-year college or university, grad school, it doesn't matter. You have to find something that's going to make you or put you in position where you don't have to struggle as hard. Maybe struggle as hard as your parents struggle. Man, I don't never want to be in that position. Struggling like my daddy was struggling. Oh man, I don't want to be in that position. Struggle like my mama was struggling. In that particular era, it was a situation where I just gotta feed my family. I gotta feed my family. So sometimes we are in that situation where we just surviving, and our children are watching us. They watching us just survive, just making it. Oh, my daddy was just barely making it. So anyway, that's my time, y'all. I've been on for an hour. I went 4 minutes to be exact. I appreciate everybody who stopped by. Y'all know I gotta do my ritual.
You know, I hear a lot of people say that, I have a photographer that can capture the shot that I need, but when they see the images in which we have, it's almost like, why go anywhere else? When you want the right shot, come to the best. 5-Star Production. This is your man Danny Faree. I was thinking, how would you be if you were at 100%? What would your life be like if you were at 100%? So I'm trying to reach that goal of being my 100% potential. At 100% of my potential, you may not even recognize who I am. Because we are all supposed to be somebody great. We are all supposed to be somebody who does something fascinating. Think about that. Think.
Tomorrow, this is our topic. Intimacy or love, or if it's the same thing. All right. So I gotta get out of there. Gotta get out of here. I got to go on another platform and do some other stuff. I'll holler at y'all later.